well, I think, not sure who's going to be here, but I'm going to get started. So I am Christy Strum. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Shoreview, Minnesota. And today during my live, I want to show you a couple of paper pumpkin alternatives that I've made with the February 2021 kit, Bouquet of Hope. And also talk about how I've been storing my sentiments that I'm making with the Many Messages bundle. I'm really enjoying that bundle, but it does mean that you end up with a lot of sentiments. So first, I'll just show you these are the cards that the kit prescribes for you. It's the really pretty gold thing there that's probably really shiny for you. And the point of this kit was to offer comfort. So, so it's kind of about, things like sorry for your loss and things like that. So, all right. And then the second card, I'll always be here for you. The colors in this one were Just Jade, Mary Merlot, Mossy Meadow, Bumblebee, Just Jade, did I say Just Jade? Rococo Rose. I love these colors. So there's that one. So these are the ones that the kit prescribes for you, that they give you the instructions for how to do. This one has 3 cards of 3 designs. This one with the Rococo Rose, and it has this self-adhesive die cut for the Thinking of You that actually comes in multiple languages because this kit is being offered in more countries than just North America. This has vellum with the gold on around the sides. So the stamp set that comes with this comes with a really cool floral. It's the same kind of look of that bouquet, but it's just line art, and I knew I needed to watercolor this. So I watercolored with the Just Jade, Mary Merlot, Rococo Rose, and Bumblebee. Did I miss any? Using the ink and a water painter. So I had a lot of fun doing this last night. I don't watercolor nearly as often as I'd like to. And then I did use a sponge dauber to ink around the edge of this with Rococo Rose and this one with Mary Merlot. I did use the Fluid 100, I think that's what it's called, Fluid 100 watercolor paper for this. And the StazOn ink to stamp the image. So I had a lot of fun doing some watercoloring last night. The second card isn't quite done. I used one of the other card bases and added some of the die cuts that come with the kit, and then that one of the sentiments, the one that is on the gold, this label that comes in a die cut is exactly the same size as the story label punch that you can buy from the annual catalog. It's one of my favorite punches. I use it all the time. So I punched that out with just Rococo Rose cardstock. And then I thought it would be really fun to maybe add a different sentiment to this that's not one of the ones that comes with the kit, but something from the Many Messages bundle. So we're going to finish this one together. If anyone, well, I'm not sure if I can see comments, so I may just have to go on my own here, but the Many Messages bundle is in the January to June 2021 mini catalog, and it's kind of a cool idea where the stamp, instead of a bunch of different stamps that cut or that do all these different sentiments, it's one big stamp. You can use it with the biggest clear block. I have been preferring using it with the Stamparatus. I have a whole other video on my YouTube channel that I did for an event back in January that where I go into a lot more detail about this particular bundle and some tips and tricks. But it's one big stamp and one die. So, and it's kind of cool because then even if you're just making one card, you have a whole bunch of other leftover sentiments to use with other cards. So for this one, I made a bunch of different sentiments. I stamped and die cut sentiments with the Mossy Meadow color to coordinate with this. And I kind of came up with a few that I think will look nice with this, you know, on top of this label. And yes, my fingers are blue from stamping earlier with Misty Moonlight. This is Misty Moonlight. So I thought this one would look nice. This one. This one. This one. Hurry, it's your birthday. Or just a card to say hello. I'm somewhat partial to this one. I'm not sure why, but that one looks really nice. And I can't see comments. If I could see comments, I tried to make sure I could see my comments, but if there's anyone here, I'm not seeing them. So I was going to have you help me choose which one to use, but I think I'm just going to go with this one. So I'll just pop that up on a couple of dimensionals. And there's my finished card. But as you can see, I have a lot of leftover sentiments. Put this one aside. I'll be posting the alternates on my blog tomorrow morning, along with a link to the video for this. So you'll be able to watch again. If you miss any of what's going on here, you'll be able to watch it again, either on Facebook or on YouTube. So I have a lot of sentiments. What I ended up doing when I was doing lots of cards using many messages for this project back in January is I decorated. This is Flower and Field Designer Series paper from Celebration that is sadly not available anymore. But I decorated old paper pumpkin boxes that I had and then filled them with little mini boxes. There are a lot of different ways that I've seen demonstrators and other people talk about how to store the sentiments. Some do it by sentiment. So all the colors of one sentiment are together. I tend to think in colors. So I thought it would be fun to make little mini boxes that I could put them and store them by color. So Pacific Point, Flirty Flamingo, etc. And so I figured out what size box would work to be tall enough to fit in the box, but not too tall, of course. And then I was able to fit 8 really comfortably in here. You sometimes have to, you know, jigger them a little bit to get, depending on which style paper pumpkin box you have, to get the sides to close around it. But it works really well with the size that I came up with for me. So I'm going to go over that in just a second here. Okay, so you can do this with either a regular paper trimmer, or I decided to try using my scoring tool because I do not use this often enough. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up in the camera, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit to where I think it's going to show. I'll kind of watch my computer to make sure. So I'm starting with a cardstock piece that is 4 inches by 7 inches, and I'll put all these dimensions on the blog too. And then basically it's just scoring at 1 1/4 inch all around. So I set it up. One of the things that I like about the scoring tool is that I can set up markers that show me exactly where I'm going to be doing my scoring. So 1 1/4 inch, oops. Fortunately, these get stored in a box, so they're not going to be super pretty. It's just doing a little too fast. Okay. So it looks like that showed up just fine, so hopefully that'll be clear enough. See, I went a little off track, but for this, it doesn't matter because it's just going to be in a box, so it doesn't have to be super pretty. So the next thing I would do is fold on all those score marks and burnish those edges to make sure they're nice and crisp. I realize that my workspace here is turning with me. So those edges are nice and crisp. And then you can cut these different ways. It doesn't really matter. My preferred way is to do it from the sides rather than the ends. That just works out better for me, but it really doesn't matter. You can put the box together in any direction. So it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to use my paper snips first just to cut these. So this creates the box. I was talking to my team member yesterday about like basic tools that you should have for paper crafting, and we talked about the paper snips, and they are very sharp, very sharp. Please be very careful with them. Please keep the cap that comes with them. They could double as a personal security item for your purse if you like. So just a tip from my team member, Bert. I thought that was kind of fun. But they are very sharp. I accidentally slipped and put it into my finger once, and it was very, very painful. I do not recommend it. It healed just fine, but it was not, oops, I'm not done here. But it was not a great idea. Oh, I am done. Haha. All right. So just for ease, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus for this because it has a good strong hold. It can tear paper, so we'll see if I can do this without tearing paper. So you do have to be kind of careful with this. And I just realized I forgot a step seed. I did that before too. So it's not a big deal. It's just, especially since this is not, you're not giving this one, wow, as a gift. So it's not a huge problem, but okay. Don't know why this is acting up so badly, but they're probably, usually I would use tear and tape. I just didn't get that all ready ahead of time. What I forgot to do before I put tape on though was to cut this each edge really carefully. And again, with the paper snips, be really careful not to cut your fingers. Doing this little, like kind of trimming off these little corners just helps it go together a little bit better without getting too it's hard to explain what happens. Try putting it together without first, and you'll see that it doesn't fit as closely and tightly. And I'm not being super careful about these because again, this is just for my own storage. It's not a fancy gift I'm giving anybody. So get these out of the way. So I did these on the outside, and then my preferred way to do this is just to kind of join up the corner as closely as possible. Again, doesn't need to be perfect because it's just for holding my sentiments. Holding the box together, and then doing the same thing on this. Kind of meet up those corners there. And yeah, cutting those little edges helps quite a lot. And then all I have to do, I can just gather up my sentiments, drop them right in there. And now when I want to find my Mossy Meadow sentiments, I know exactly where they are. And it's also easy when I grab them out of the paper pumpkin box and want to sort through them. It's easy to kind of just dump them out and then kind of just scoop them back. I know you can't see the edge of my desk, but scoop them out, put them right back. So that was what I wanted to share today. Again, I can't see comments. So if you do have any questions, of course, let me know. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. I will be putting more information on my blog. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd be happy to help you out. Or if you are interested in joining my team, I would love for you to contact me. I think that was all I wanted to show you today. Thanks for coming. I'll just kind of show these a little out here to close. And again, thanks for watching. Christy Strum in Shoreview. Thanks. And I will hopefully see you next week.